This is the trackway of an old stair lift, and I noticed there's a couple of little marks. You might see it, one there, not so obvious as we go up. Now that means the bearing is snatching, and I did change all the bearings a little while ago. Unfortunately, I only had 10 bearings and it takes 12. And I put 2 back in old ones back in an easy place to get to. But you would think that all 12 sort of pivots, bolts for the bearings would all be the same. Unfortunately, they weren't. 2 were different. And I thought, got it wrong. I had to take them out again and put them back. And the thing was, I swapped the bearings over their position, which now means to say I've got to remove the whole stair lift again to get these bearings, which is a little bit of a pain. Other than that, I've got another little bit of TLC to do on the stair lift, which we'll do. We'll start by taking her up the stairs first of all. Well, here it comes. Everything's a little bit grubby because I've been stripping wallpaper and making good the walls and stuff. Got a lot more of that to do. But to get it off and service the unit, I have to bring it up to the top. Can't do it down to the bottom. Never come off otherwise. The boss is away enjoying herself somewhere, and I'm gonna switch everything off. That's off. Oh, first of all, let's pop this. Pop the breaker, switch it off, and that should be isolated now. One thing about this thing, you've got a million screws to undo, and some of the stuff I never put back from last time. I never put back the footrest because I just never got round to it, by which time I realised I'd made a mistake and needed to get back in again, so it's just going to save time in stripping the thing down. Oh God, you do not know how many screws hold this thing together. Access to them can be a bit of a problem. There's a screw up here, a couple of screws up here are going to be a real pain to get at, and you need a sort of cranked screwdriver to get at because there's a plate underneath that's sort of in the way. Working on stairways is always going to be a problem because if there's other people in the house, they're going to want to go up and down, up and down, up and down. And in this instance, I've had to wait a couple of months until the house is empty so I can get on with it. I'm going to remove the seat first, which requires moving these sort of little stops. These stops sort of stop the seat from going down any further, sort of bump stops. The other trick to all of this is managing all the screws that you get, and there are lots of them, too many in fact. And you have to develop a strategy for that. That's what happens, you drop a screw and it goes somewhere right down at the bottom of the stairs probably, if you're unlucky. And this stairwell don't half get hot if people are cooking or doing other things like that. Now let's take these out of the way. Side screws. I'm sorry you're not going to be able to see all the screws on this, but of course nobody in their right mind still got one of these, and it's 20 years old, 26 years old. It was the last one, or the last year of manufacture for this model, before Acorn bought them out. Old Bison Bede. I don't know what model you'd call it. You just carry on taking screws out until you find. Okay. Obviously got to take this off. could be a problem. I say obviously, I don't really know. I don't think this is a job for your average Joe or Josephine. I'll just have a sort of a longish history of taking things apart. I don't like the sound of that. It sounds like a washer falling out. Something's falling out. Or a spacer. Should have been able to have got that out without removing those. Let's see what's going on. What on earth is going on? What I'm trying to do is to remove the seat first, so that we can, I'm just trying to remove the seat, and so that it reduces a lot of the weight. And you do need to reduce it to get heat off. Now, there's a little spare bearing there, and that's for the seat swivel. And bearings in here, I won't show it to you, but one of those things that busted ages ago. I bought a couple of spare bearings, changed it and fitted it over. The actual part that I wanted was, I tracked it down by some, sort of, as you're doing, they wanted 35 quid. And I bought two of those for £2.40. Right. Let's see what's next. Now, before I can remove the seat, there's two problems. One of them is that we've got wires to decouple that go through, so it's difficult to sometimes to decide how to tackle this problem. We can undo the connector, I hope. Oh. And because of the poor light in here, I can't be too sure what I'm doing. Right, leave that for a moment. I should just pull out, shouldn't it? Sometimes you get to a stage where it's worth getting a torch, and that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to get a torch. Now, good job we've got a torch, because what I thought was sort of holding the clip together isn't the clip, it's around the back of it, and just noticed it. So I'm going to pull it apart now, hopefully. That's it, we're apart. Batteries had it in that. I'd like to make an important point here. You did see me switch it off earlier. We are dealing with mains voltages. It's essential that you actually switch it off. The more modern systems, more modern stairlifts tend to have sort of battery powered ones and go up and down. Same applies. You've still got to.
Oh yes, I'm rumbly in my tumbly. With a happy, happy appetite.
That's the Winnie the Pooh clock. With the more modern ones, which are battery powered, you've still got to disconnect the batteries because you could end up shorting out something and having very high currents flow. But there's less chance of actually killing yourself. With mains, unfortunately, there's a high chance of killing yourself if you don't switch it off. So I know that it's all switched off and I'm quite happy to work on it. Right, now there's a pair of wires that go straight down into the base unit from the switch on the handle. Now I've got to disc them off and sort of pull them through. When I say disc, I mean disconnect. Two screws underneath here that hold this cover on and the switch in place. I'll pull it down. I've got to find out which. Oh dear. Everything wants to conspire against you for some reason. What we disconnected initially had umpteen wires on it, and I'm not really sure what it does. So which one are we looking for? I don't want to go disconnecting something that doesn't need to be disconnected. Hang on, there's a bunch of wires hiding up the tube here. Oh, there we go. Let's find out where that one goes. So that's the one that's going to give us problems. And yeah, it's the one that goes to the switch. So we've got to disconnect that one off. And you need a pair of pliers now. You can just imagine what maintenance cost on one of these would be if you had to have somebody in to look after it. And it'd probably be so damn expensive, it'd be cheaper to buy a new one. Right. I've got that free. And I'll get rid of that. Pull this gently through. I'm not bothering with a draw wire because I have a different technique. But it could be policy to sort of tie a cord in, go round, so when you have to pull it back again, I use a different system. Hang on, where's that wire go? First of all, let's get the plug through of the other wire. Get that out of the way. Bring this one through. Right, we're now free to get this off. We've got one big stumbling block. There's a whacking grate sort of hex socket there, and we've got to undo that. It's at this point I have to resort to some bigger tools. We've got a hex Allen key here that's impact one, 12mm. There you go. And when I first undid this, I had to put a big extension bar on and everything. It was really, really tight. I do wonder whether they had some thread locker on there or not. But if we can't get it undone, I won't do that today, but let's see. Oh, well, I didn't do it up that tight. That's good news for me. I've no idea why I've done up so tight. Probably to stop it coming loose with, you know, so sometimes, you know, with the seat being swiveled around all the time. The column bearing is in there. Whoa. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Now, I'm holding it in place, and if I take it off now, which I'm going to do, I'd like to take it off and bring it upstairs, but I don't know, let's see if it's a bit of a balancing trick at present. All the bits of this thing are really heavy. Right, off she comes. Right, that's that off. A good point to stop, go and have a cup of tea. Aha! There's that, which sort of sits over there. Seat sits on that, mustn't forget that. Now, I've been a bit cavalier in removing the seat. Underneath here is a limit switch, micro switch, limit switch underneath here. And it's designed such that when you move the seat to any position other than the position for going down, it actually disconnects everything, so that if somebody's getting in or out of the chair, it's impossible for the stairlift to sort of start working. Unfortunately, there's a lug in, there's sort of a metal bit on the bottom of the seat that fits in there, and if you're not careful, you end up breaking the microswitch, which I've done and will need to be replaced. I did that last time. I was just thinking about it again when I took the seat off. I wish that I'd actually removed, or made sure that everything was going to be all right underneath there before I did that, but I didn't. So you've really got to, it's extra expense you don't want to go to if you break something. Now, next stage, bit of a boring thing, I'm going to remove all the covers, partly because you need to see what's in there, partly, and I'm going to have to remove them in any case to get at the bearings, so best to take it off at this stage. It can be a bit of a sitting down job with a screwdriver, and this is these screws, almost bloody impossible to get to. Everything else is doable. there's sort of some trim that goes off around these things, and you just pull it away, and they've got some nice little cutouts there so that you can actually get access to the screws. I did wonder about drilling a couple of holes so that I could put a screwdriver through and get at them easy. Perhaps I don't do this every day of the week for a living or anything. It's I think it unnecessary, sort of. I don't want to redesign it. In fact, I may have to buy a new one. Let's see whether that comes off. And we have a micro switch behind here with 2 leads on it. And it'd be nice to dish those off. They're both green. One's got a white sleeve on it, or cream sleeve with 11 on it, and it's sort of on the bottom end of the switch. So now that'll be easy enough to put back. If you're unsure, it's best to mark it, record it, take photographs, etc., etc., so you don't have any trouble. Before I can wind this off of the rack, I've got to remove an end plate here, which is sort of a cosmetic piece. There's the end stop that's got to come off of there, and there's this thing that holds the rack down in place. There are 3 things that will come off. Need an Allen key for that. And then I should be able to wind it up. And once the cog is off the rack, I should be able to lift it into place. Well, lift it off. This is a sort of the winding part in an emergency. You've got a fair way to go up the rack, about 8 inches, 200 millimeters, 20 centimeters. we're definitely free now. You heard it sort of jump. Now the only thing that's still connected is the mains cable runner, and I'm going to do all the work where the camera's standing. I've put a carpet on the floor to protect the floor from damage. Right, I'll stop there for a minute and rearrange everything. I'm going to lift it by the seat and put it down there. There it goes. Might have to put it back again. It probably weighs about 30 kilo, roughly speaking. Okay, so and get that undone. Well, loosened off. Get on this one. Do something similar. Oh, nice loosened off. And hopefully we can remove it. I actually like to remove this one before I take it off of the rack. It just gives a little bit more wiggle room. Also, when you're putting it back, put it back on the rack, it's doable. It's the only one that is doable. You think the other side was doable, but you haven't not got the space to play with. Now, it's still possible to buy these plastic bits, but horrendously expensive. It's this one that needs to come undone, the awkward one. See, this is in the way, can't get a spanner in there easy. Got to swap sides with the spanner. End on, and keeping a spanner on the nut is difficult, almost impossible. Got a 17. I think this is 17. It'll fit on there. But I hope you see that I haven't got the room to manoeuvre between there and there. And it's difficult to get a spanner onto the nut. And you'll see why in a second. It's a bummer. It really is. Yeah. Bad. Let's just have a fumble around and see whether I can find anything that'll work. I'll bang it with my hands.
Up, down, touch the ground, in the mood for food.
It's all twisting together. I hope the spanner will lock onto the metalwork there. I'll bring this up again. I'm having trouble with the spanner on. Yeah, got it undone. See what's on it. Spacers and washers. Now this is the problem. They've ground this nut down so that you've only got a small taper on it. It's you know, small thickness of the nut. It hides below the recess of the bearing, unlike the others, which, you know, full form. And I put these back in the wrong bloody place. and I paid the penalty. That cost me dearly, that did. Very, very annoying. Alright, let's get the other one out. And you may just be about to see where the snatch marks on there as it roll it round. That's because that bearing is getting near to the end of its life. And now, can I get the other one off? It's even more difficult, I think. Right. Same problem. Oh, is it the same problem? In a way, it's the same problem. I wouldn't say it was as bad as the other one. It is the same problem. Yeah. Engineering at its worst. It sort of reminds me of when you're prototyping, you build something, then you find it's got a problem. And rather than engineer it out properly, you make a bodge solution to that problem. And you end up with this bloody thing, like that. Instead of thinking it out a bit differently, yeah, I'm sure there's other ways. I'm sure there's other ways. And, right, let's get in there. See, yeah, you can see the problem, everything's moving. Alright, let's swing around a bit. Well, give me strength. Now I'm sure. Oh no, that's long that. I'm showing you the hard way of doing it. However, there is an easier way, and the reason it's come apart so easy is because I've done it before. And yeah, you can see the snatch marks on the bearing there. We'll have another look at that in a minute. Well, take the bearing apart and just show you what's what. Nut, washer, spacer. As I said, they've ground this nut off, and it makes it really difficult. If you start using it too often, you'll damage the edges, or can do, make the nut, or make the bolt US. Right. These are sort of circlip pliers. I like this sort of bent one. It works extremely well with these. As you put it in, pull out your circlip, put it over to one side gently, and we can take that bearing out. That's it. And you can see where the grease has been sort of leaking. Oh, leaking out of that. It doesn't feel, it really doesn't feel that bad. Doesn't feel that bad at all. Let's look at this one. This quite cleverly made, these rollers. I think you can still get them. What would you do if you couldn't get them? Well, get a stick of, is it Duralin? Duralin? Or Delron? Is Delron? Delron? Or whatever. It's a plastic, a machinable plastic, or I think it's Delron. And you know, machines quite well and turn one up on a lathe. That's what I would do if I couldn't get hold of them. And or if the price was prohibitively expensive, that's what I would do. I'd take the other one out. Washer. Bolt. Hose one side. Quite simple to replace the inner bearing. I did wonder, just feeling this one, which didn't actually feel that bad, but it's not under load on in fingers. You do wonder if it's sort of slipping inside of this casing. Maybe, maybe not. The others are not doing it, so why should these two? Alright, let's take this one out. Do use circular pliers. It's so much easier than fiddling about with a no, sort of a screwdriver or something. Bear in mind this is plastic and you're going to damage it, and that's the thing that you don't want to damage is that. In fact, the pliers are cheap. You can buy a set of these, you know, straight ones, curved ones, and ones that close to open the close or whatever, you know, reverse ones. For less money, then you can buy that little bit of plastic. So take note. There you go. Easy peasy. Knock that one out. And again, it doesn't feel that bad, but these were the best of the old ones that I put back in, and they didn't feel that bad, but obviously they're a bit sort of worn. I think that they're 30mm wide, oh sorry, diameter 30 millimeters, width 9, bore is 10, and they're 6.2 double O's, ZZs. Yeah, if you need a replacement. I got 10. I bought 10 in the first place. What I would be inclined to do from now on, based on my own experience, is to sort of mark these before I put them back in. I don't know if I sort of, but I know where these are going. Bit pointless now, but if I did the job again, I was changing over all the bearings, so I just sort of mark them. In fact, I will mark them, even if it all wears off. It probably will. So I feel a bit greasy. I'll put 2 marks on. which way round do we put them back in? Good question. Good question. I don't think it really matters. In she goes. I think, yeah, let's give it a clean up first. I'm going to switch off for a minute and give these a clean up. They really do need it. Right. Now you can understand the importance of cleaning them up. If you start leaving old ones on the bench and new ones, you know that these are the new ones and they're the old ones. Hence marking has its advantages, especially when there's 12 of them. We'll drop that one in, and we'll drop that one in, and put the squeeze up our that's in place. Yep, nice in place. Drop that one in. I just think that if you had someone come and do this job, what horrendous money they would ask in this day and age. Right. I don't advocate doing this job yourself, but because there are sort of risks that if you don't know what you're doing, you could end up hurting you or hurting somebody else when on the stair lift. It's a risk I'm prepared to take, but I do have sort of a background in sort of control engineering and stuff like this, so it's not really a problem to me. But if you're one of those people that's only pushed a piece of paper across the desk, you probably shouldn't be doing it. So, confidence level, it's an easy job to do, methodical. I think the skill set, because if you do something wrong, you've got to deal with the problems. I think that you need to be quite a wide skill set, sort of mechanical and electrical engineering. So not a job for everybody. Yeah. Okay, let's go and put these back. I don't know whether to actually show you putting these back. It's you see taking them out, putting them back is just the reverse of taking them out.